the greatest gladiator match in the history of the world. Son of Krypton and Bat of Gotham. That is my shitty ass impression of Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. Alright, how you guys doing? I'm doing very well, thanks for asking. So, I went to the midnight screening of Batman v Superman yesterday, and originally I was gonna do the review as soon as I got home, but I was just really tired. I needed to sleep. I needed some time to process what I just saw, and I was just exhausted and all that stuff. So here I am, here to talk about Batman v Superman. Now, this video is going to be a combination of spoiler-free review and spoiler-filled review. So what that means is for the first, I would say 3 minutes of this video is going to be 100% spoiler-free. I'm not going to give away any important information. You don't have to worry about any, stuff, okay? And I'll just give you my quick thoughts on what I thought about the movie, what I liked, what I didn't like it, all that jazz. And after that, I'm gonna give you my in-depth discussion. It was very disappointing. Very, very, very disappointing. I didn't like the movie at all. I didn't enjoy watching it at all. It's just, it was exhausting. It was boring. To me, at least. Now, before you click that dislike button and unsubscribe and all that, stuff, hear me out, okay? I've got some shit to say. And, there are some really good things in the movie. It's not just a big pile of shit, okay? This movie is not a big pile of shit. So, okay, start off with the running time. 2.5 hours long. Way too long. Way, way too long. They could have cut at least half an hour, and that would have made it slightly better, in my opinion. I think it would have created better pacing. It would have been smoother. The narrative could have been, more focused. And, I think a lot of the things could have been a lot better if it was a lot shorter. And the story is all over the place. There are 10 different stories going on in this 2 hours and 30 minutes long movie. And it just doesn't work. It really doesn't work. And individual element is not really connected to one another. It's like, it's just a separate thing happening in this 2.5 hour long thing. It's over stuff. I was very confused when this movie was doing I guess, this movie is basically a setup, okay? This is not a standalone movie about Batman versus Superman. This is basically a setup for upcoming DC Cinematic Universe movies. The Wonder Woman, the Flash, the Aquaman, Cyborg. There's this thing. Yeah, it's not really a spoiler because everybody knows that those stuff are gonna be in the movie. So yeah, it's all over the place. The story is all over the place. It's not focused on one thing, and just there are 10 different things going on. It's just fucking confusing. Oh yes, and before I went to see the movie, I rewatched Man of Steel. To prepare for the Batman v Superman. It's been a long time since I saw the movie, so I thought it would be a good idea to catch up with all the things that happened in the movie. And I have a lot of issues with Man of Steel, but now that I've seen Batman v Superman, I have to say Man of Steel is 50 times better than Batman v Superman. It's more entertaining, it's more interesting, it's more cohesive. It's definitely more cohesive. Now, Man of Steel, I don't think it's a great movie, but I don't think it's a terrible movie either. It's very enjoyable. I enjoyed watching that movie, whereas Batman v Superman, I was just not into it at all. I'm gonna spend a little bit of time talking about Man of Steel. Okay, so Man of Steel, I liked the way it told its origin story. I was not a huge fan of the tone of it, but I loved watching what Clark Kent went through in his childhood. His upbringing, how he was, seen as this outcast and a freak. And I loved all of that. I thought it was very compelling. It was very interesting. And I really cared about the young Clark Kent. I, you know, sympathized with him. I felt for him. And I liked Kevin Costner as, you know, Papa Kent. I also enjoyed the first 20 minutes of Man of Steel. You know, the whole thing happening in the Krypton and Russell Crowe doing things, and there's General Zod and the fight and all that stuff. That part was, when I first saw the movie, that part was the best thing about Man of Steel, and I still think that part is the best thing about Man of Steel. I love that part. It's exciting, it's gripping, it's visually stunning. I love it, I love it, I love it. And I'm gonna finish up this, you know, non-spoiler section with a couple of positives. Okay, I've got some nice things to say about Batman v Superman. One of them is Ben Affleck. He is fantastic. He is fantastic as Bruce Wayne in Batman. I loved his portrayal of Bruce Wayne. This is an older and more damaged Bruce Wayne. We've never seen this type of Bruce Wayne before, and I loved his take on the character. I thought he was fantastic as Batman as well. You know, he was just fucking big, man. It's just like, yeah, I wouldn't mess with that guy. Like, he was great. He was great. He is probably the best part of the movie. I also liked Jeremy Irons as Alfred. I thought, you know, the chemistry between him and Affleck was great. It was awesome. I loved seeing them working together, and, you know, they have this great kind of brotherhood type of relationship, brotherhood type of bond, and I loved that. And the last but not least, Wonder Woman. God, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, fantastic. She was fantastic in the movie. I've heard some very unkind words about how she doesn't really fit the, I guess, the image or description of Wonder Woman. She's supposed to be like this big Amazonian warrior. Like I said, I didn't grow up reading the comics, so I don't know. Like, it's like, I don't care about all that stuff, okay? Gal Gadot was fantastic. I loved her portrayal of Wonder Woman. She is strong, you know, she's smart, strong, and very independent. Very strong female character. I loved that. I loved seeing a, you know, badass female character, because that's what we need. But yeah, to wrap things up, overall, this movie was not really my thing. It was not what I expected it to be. I gotta be honest, this is one of the most joyless movie experiences I've had in a very, very long time. That's saying a lot, okay? I see a lot of movies, and that's saying a lot. So, I'm gonna give Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice a D-. Alright, now moving on to the spoiler sections, where I'm gonna talk about spoilers involving Batman v Superman. So, yeah, here we go. If you're gonna call something Batman v Superman, make it about Batman fighting Superman. This movie is not about Batman fighting Superman. It's basically a fucking setup for upcoming DC Cinematic Universe movies. The Wonder Woman, you know, the Aquaman, and the Flash, and Green Lantern, and all that fucking Justice League shit. It's like, I don't care about this. I bought the tickets to see a movie about Batman fighting Superman, and I want to see why Batman is pissed at Superman and what's going on with the Superman and all that stuff. That's what I wanted to see. But instead, the filmmakers decided, you know what, we're gonna put so much shit in this because Marvel is doing, you know, the cinematic universe thing really well, so we're gonna have to catch up with that. So we're gonna put, Zack Snyder is like, we're gonna put so much shit in it, so much shit in it, and it's like, it just becomes this giant thing, and it's so incoherent, and it makes no sense. It doesn't have a clear, it doesn't focus on one story. It jumps from one thing to another, and those two things are not related to each other at all. It's a separate story. It's like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I was fucking confused the whole time. It's like, and maybe it's to do with the fact that I didn't grow up reading the comic books. There are so many Easter egg-ish things in the movie, and my friends picked up most of them, but I was like, I'm so confused. I'm so fucking confused. I don't know what the fuck is going on. What is that? What is that? What the fuck is this? Why is this necessary? I want to see Batman fighting Superman. I went to see this movie, watch that fight. I don't want to see any setups. I want to see this story. Why are you not focusing on one thing? And this is just my personal opinion, but Zack Snyder is not a good storyteller. He's an interesting visual filmmaker. He can create really spectacular and interesting visuals, but he's not a good storyteller. He can't tell a fucking story. There are so many things in the film that just don't work, and one of them is the dream sequences. There is this one dream scene around halfway through the film where the Flash, Ezra Miller, the Flash character, shows up in a costume, the red costume, in Bruce Wayne's dream. And he says, Lois, she is the key, blah, 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 that. And he just disappears and Bruce Wayne wakes up. It's like, that, up until then, I was doing my best to follow the story. I was at least trying, okay? But as soon as that happened, I was like, I'm done. I'm done with this movie. Do whatever you want, blow things up. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm just gonna sit back and I just watch things fly and crash and all that shit. Like, I don't care. This is not a movie about Batman v Superman. It's all about a fucking setup. It's all about a fucking setup that has nothing to do with Batman or fucking Superman. God. Oh my god, this movie. Okay. So the dream sequences don't work. And the romance. The fucking romance between Clark Kent and Lois Lane. That just doesn't work. One of the biggest problems I had with Man of Steel was the romance. It was not properly developed. It just happened out of nowhere. It's like, okay, it's just the romance, it feels rushed, it's shallow, it just doesn't work. And God, Lois Lane bugged me. Lois Lane, this character is so fucking stupid. She's basically a cute little object that Superman can, play with. That's pretty much the only reason why she's in the movie. I hate the concept of damsels in distress so fucking much. It's like, oh, girls are stupid and they're good looking, but they have no brains and they need a man to be, saved from a dangerous situation. They need a man, they have to be saved constantly, and boom, boom, boom. It's like, no. No. We're living in the 21st century. This is not fucking 1960s. Lois Lane is just this useless, brainless object that causes nothing but troubles. Nothing but fucking troubles. There is this scene in the third act where after the fight between Batman and Superman, and they, go on to fight Doomsday. Batman made this kryptonite spear to, beat the shit out of Superman, and she fucking picks it up and throw it in the water. And as soon as she did that, I knew what was gonna happen. It's like, okay, they're gonna figure out to defeat Doomsday, they're gonna need that fucking kryptonite spear, but, so Lois Lane's gonna, try to pick it up and something's gonna happen. Maybe building's gonna fall and she's gonna stuck in the water and Superman's gonna save her. And guess what? That happened. That fucking thing happened. It's like, okay, Lois Lane, you're fucking stupid and you're a disgrace to a lot of women who are, smart and smart and intelligent are the two same thing. Smart and strong and, independent. It's like, what the fuck? Zack Snyder and the screenwriters, what the fuck are you thinking? I guess a lot of people love the concept of damsels in distress, but I don't. So I was very happy that Wonder Woman wasn't this stupid fucking object. She was a strong woman. She's a smart woman. She's an independent woman. Amy Adams, you are a wonderful actress, but you are fucking better than this. You are fucking better than this. And yeah, the last but not least, okay, let's talk about the action. Let's talk about the action set pieces in the movie. It's a fucking mess. It's a fucking mess. You can't tell what the fuck is going on because all you see is That's what happens. Seriously, that's what fucking happens in the fucking third act of the movie. It's not exciting because there's no grit to it. There's no realism to it. It's all computer generated. You can literally see the green screen. Well, maybe not literally, but you know what I'm talking about. It's all fake. There is no burning building behind real actors. No real burning buildings behind real actors. It's just a green screen and they're doing hacha, yeah. That's what happens. It's like, I don't get it. I don't think it's exciting. It's the least. It's not fun at all. It's not a fun movie, and that's. I want a joyful experience from a superhero movie, okay? But this movie was completely the opposite. It's very joyless. It's very humorless. It takes itself so seriously. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Batman v Superman. I'm tired. Talking about this movie makes me tired. It's like, I hate this movie so much. I would rather, just one last thing. I would rather watch Batman and Robin 5 times in a row than spend another 2.5 hours on this just smothering film. That is my very all over the place review of Batman v Superman. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I assume most of you just, you know, didn't see the whole thing. But if you stayed, if you saw this whole thing, if you were at this point of the review, thank you so much. It means a lot to me. And yeah, if you like this video, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel as well. And, you know, check out the Facebook page down below, you know, all that jazz. And I will see you guys in the next video. Don't go see Batman v Superman. Seriously.